Ah, Jesus! What the hell is wrong with... Oh shit, I gotta make an episode right now! Or else the contract will fuck me! And I don't like getting fucked! What do I do? What do I do? Is this what I'm talking about? Fuck it. You know this, right? Bread? You've had it, right? It's one of the staple foods. You can have it with anything. Or do anything with it. Toast it, spread something on it, put stuff between two pieces of bread to make a sandwich, or put stuff in bread to make something wacky. Also, it's so versatile. Look at all of these things. These are the different types of bread. Sometimes it's just a color change like white bread to wheat bread. Other times it's extra stuff on it like fruit bread. Ugh, gross. But now look at this! Flatbread! It looks totally different! It's the same ingredients but made differently. Now, according to this logic, is cake a bread? I don't know. Is it? Is cake a sandwich? Answer me! Okay, wait. Let's not get into that. Let's first start with the basics. How do I do this? Okay. In the beginning, there was starch. Starch is this powder that plants make that humans and animals turn into sugar. At least that's what I understand from this article. It's possible that early humans used this to make early forms of flatbread. Why? I don't know, man. They'll try anything out of curiosity. It's found in a lot of plants, in their roots and stuff, so it's pretty integral to the food you pull up from the ground. Now, remember, what is bread? Now, this is just my own understanding. If you made your own bread instead of buying it from a store, it'd take making a dough out of water, flour, and yeast. And then you knead the dough and bake it. Flour is a powder made from grains that also contains starch, and yeast is some fungi that feeds on sugars that help the baking process. The yeast causes it to rise in the oven, and there you go, it's bread. Probably some more steps than that, but I don't know, man, I don't bake bread, I just got this from a website summary. Anyway, the Egyptians discovered 12,000 years ago that you can also make dough out of wheat, which already existed for a few thousand years before. They just decided to put it into bread now. So, blame them for wheat bread. And it seems like milk bread was the product of the Japanese, involving a much more sophisticated process. Sometimes bread can be fermented, which I literally do not understand how it works, but on the surface it seems to be a process that yeast goes through, where yeast takes the sugars in the food and converts it into carbon dioxide and alcohol. Very, very little, but it's still there. And that's what causes the dough to rise and get its flavor. Sourdough in particular involves a special type of process where the flour and water are made and set aside for a couple days while air yeast or whatever ferments it and makes the bread taste sour. I know that this for some people is a picky thing because there's a restaurant near me that is very particular about its sourdough recipe and flaunts it in its pizza, so I'm guessing it's important. Each culture has their own derivative of the bread recipe. India had rotis and naan, the Middle East had pita bread, France had baguettes and croissants.
Croissant.
Okay. And many, many more. You can even fuck around and make your own bread, just try. But, I don't know, maybe someone else has done it already? I don't know, man, I'm just spitballing here. Hell, it could even be unrecognizable. Pizza is an entirely different food. Or, you know, you could just be one of those people that adds stuff on top of already sliced bread like butter or eggs or something. And as for cake, well, there's a lot more ingredients in cake like fat and the liquid they use or whatever to make batter. But the primary difference is that as a leavening agent instead of yeast like bread, cake uses baking powder. So it's similar but very different, with the difference being the texture primarily. Now this is what I was interested in. If Bill Wirtz taught me anything, it's that early humans invented capitalism through farming. See, bread is strongly associated with agriculture, the practice of cultivating crops and raising livestock, growing your own food. Not everyone has the skills and most importantly the land to do so. Bread was really most prominent in some European regions, and wheat was primarily grown in the Fertile Crescent, which is a crescent-shaped area of land in the Middle East. As such, if you grew your own crops, everyone wanted to come to you or your land for them, and thus, you had power over them. Also, I call it capitalism as a joke, but capitalism is a more modern system. Really what we're seeing here is the advent of trade. I give you this wheat I have plenty of, and you give me something like fruit or whatever other grain that I can't make. Guess what this resulted in? The economy. This exchange of grains and bread led to the general invention of trade and later on, the economy, as trading was replaced with money like coins and notes. And also, the workers who built the pyramids were paid with bread. And beer. It was a staple food, hence people who brought the food for the household were called breadwinners. Not only was it traded, but bread was also given as compensation. It was literally money back then. It was so important that in France, the fucking French Revolution was partly due to increasing bread prices. When the price of bread rose, the public would freaking riot. That's how crucial bread was. Also in Asia, people usually eat rice, but after World War II, Japan ramped up the bread industry in their country and consumed Western bread more, because that's really all they had in ration shipments. They just got the ingredients and made them since they couldn't make rice. Hey guys! I guess Japan was not ready for the Hiroshima bombing. Apparently bread was also used as a source of status. The darker your bread was, the lower your class was too. Darker bread was easier to make, so in ancient times whiter bread meant the person had more money to spend on better bread. But this would get diluted as time went on, as bread got mass-produced thanks to actual capitalism this time, and all bread was easier to afford. And as the economy and times changed, the world got less racist. Oh, and I found this article on how in ancient Jewish texts, bread was a euphemism for sex, which I will not read, so please just go do it yourself. I do not want to do this. Now, I'm no doctor, but bread does seem to be healthy, mainly in carbohydrates and fiber, so it helps reduce cardiovascular disease and manage digestion, as well as giving you energy, though some bread may contain sugar. Apparently Subway put too much in their bread that Ireland had a problem with it. What else? Conspiracies? This Reddit thread is really boring, just myths about making bread. Plus the standard, is this actually good for you type of shit that's there on every food or liquid, it's not particularly noteworthy. Oh, here's one! A monopoly! Several Canadian bread companies banded together to increase prices from 2001 to 2015, just cause they wanted to. It affected bread, naans, tortillas, muffins, and bagels and everything. Absolutely tragic. And they got freaking served in what was called the Great Canadian Bread Price-Fixing Scandal of 2018. Absolutely amazing, spectacular, class action lawsuits, huge fines, and lots of customers getting gift cards as compensation. Absolutely incredible. Now let's talk about toast. It's not surprising early people burned bread just to see what it could look like. But it didn't become relevant until way later when the Roman Empire used it to preserve bread and make it more palatable, even if it's stale. Because you don't want to be paid in stale bread, what good is that? And then in the late 1800s, the first toaster came along. Since then, it was just improving that basic toaster. Though I have heard of toasters that use water instead of just plain heat to create unique toast. Yo camera guy, make me some toast! What? Toast is also associated with wine. It seems that some wines tasted like ass, and people would put breadcrumbs in it to balance out the taste and make it better overall. This would be done at gatherings, and those old people raised and clinked their glasses together in honor of someone, which is where toasting came from. Then opened the floodgates for things in between bread. Sandwiches made by a chronic gambler who requested meat in between two slices of bread so he could eat while gambling. Sandwiches were invented thanks to a gambler being lazy. Grilled cheese was invented during World War I because it was easy to make and afford. Peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, popular during World War II because they were easy to pack yet very nutritious, and afterwards became a quintessential school lunch. I've eaten many PBJs and they're awesome, damn it! I could go on, but you get the idea. I don't want to ramble on for too long. World records! Everyone loves competition about the most meaningless shit. In this case, it's, of course, the longest loaf of bread, clocking it at 1,211.6 meters, or 3,975 feet, and 0.69 inches. Made in Portugal. Guinness World Record, man. And on this website, there's all kinds of world records, but it just seems to be eating bread and its siblings in the fastest time possible. And according to this article, this is the longest line of bread. Pardon me, but what kind of record is this? They just put individual bread loaves in a circle. Anyone can steal this at any time. Guinness! At least that first guy's bread was continuous. He might be the best world record holder I've seen yet. But now we get to the dangers. The bad side. A lot of people throw bread at ducks because it's some trope in the media, but do not do that. It's not good for them and for their environment, so feed them grapes instead. And people eating too much bread causes negative effects, as does anything. It could lead to weight gain due to all the carbs you're ingesting, could spike your blood sugar, and even cause digestive issues. Plus the obvious downside of not getting nutrients that bread is weak or lacking in, like vitamins and shit. People have experienced this firsthand. In the Navy, there used to be the bread and water punishment, where as a disciplinary measure, a sailor is confined to a diet of only bread and water for a set period of days. Used to be for a month, then only a few days, and now they don't do this at all.
Alright, screw it. I'm not doing this any longer. Let's conclude this.
I like bread. By itself, not so much. Depends on the type of bread, but I think it's very good. I wouldn't have it all the time, you know. There's only a limit to how much bread I can enjoy before it's too much. Especially the types of sandwiches I have. But overall, it's pretty good food, no matter what variety of bread it is. And plus, the more unique variants like croissants are pretty good. I really do like when people get creative with bread. But please, do let me know what your opinions on bread are. I'd love to hear them.
Oh, but I do know of one more thing. It's this rare type of bread called the divine bread, also called golden bread in some places, which is said to have a spectacular taste by itself and go well in any sandwich, plus reduces all the negative health effects of bread. It's very hard to find, and no one seems to have gotten it before. And I have it right here. I stole this from Walmart, and they only had one of these at the full back of the shelf. So it's time to... Where the fuck? Ah, jeez!
I am Bread God. I am the divine being that protects the golden bread loaf. Return it to me and I will put you back on the mortal plane.
Okay, here, have it. I didn't do anything with it. Please don't hurt me.
Very well then. But if you ever display such foolish behavior once more, you will not be so fortunate.
Yeah. Okay, I won't touch it anymore. It's fine.
Very good. You will now leave. One last piece of advice. It's pronounced croissant.
What?
Fuck this, I'm gonna have cereal.